So we have seen till now how we can assign values to variables. Like if I write a is equal to 6, then it means, and if I have declared this a as integer type, then this particular statement means I am assigning value 6 to a variable a, okay, which is of integer type, which I have declared as integer type. So suppose if I want to store a value, let's say 4.2 to a variable, then that variable must be declared as a, can you tell me what should be the declaration type of this variable if I want to store 4.2 into it?
Double.
Float, float.
Float. Very good.
Float.
So it should be of float type, and then I can store this decimal value also in this variable. Similarly, if I want to store a character, a single character like C in a variable, then that variable should be of char type, char, char type, right? But if I want to store a multiple alphabets in a variable, for example, I want to store physics in a variable, then that variable has to be declared as string type. Okay, string type. But you can see for integers and variables, for integers and decimals, let's say I am defining a variable as float b as float, and I am assigning, then I can assign value as 4.2. That will be right. Similarly, for assigning a value to a character variable, what you have to do is you can define a variable C by character, by char, char, and then you can assign any variable. Like I want to store a variable x into this uh, alphabet x into this variable C, then I can write like this. Okay, but if any of you have tried this, yes, you can declare this character, this C, as a variable character, but you cannot assign a character to this variable C like this. For this, क्या करना है आपको? What you have to write? If you want to assign a character to a variable, then you have to write this character in single quotes. These numbers, if you are assigning, then it's okay, you can assign directly. But if you are assigning a character to a variable, or even let's say I want to declare a string type variable D, and I want to assign physics to this variable D, then also I have to write this text which I want to assign in single quotes. But for numbers, it is not necessary. But for assigning characters and for assigning words, I can say, for assigning characters and for assigning words, I have to write this word into single quotations. Then only this physics will be stored into variable D. Otherwise, it will give you an error. Right? So एक तो ये ध्यान रखना है हमेशा कि while giving the value to the variables whose data type is character or string, then you have to write the data into single quotations. So let's see this in this. Okay, let's say I want to define a character, a variable A whose data types is char, and I want to assign capital X to it. Let's say by statement 8, I want to store capital X into variable A whose data type is char type, right? And then I want to see the content of this variable A. Then it should run. Okay, let's see. But yes, you are now saying error. X was not declared in this scope. This type of initialization, this type of assigning you cannot do with alphabets or with strings. For this, you have to write this X into single quotations. If I write this X into single quotation, then yes, this particular alphabet will be stored into a variable A, right? If I run this now, it will show me X. Okay, so this is just the syntax problem. This is just, you can say, a syntax for which you can see numbers can be stored directly, but alphabets or words has to be stored by this method, right? So similarly, okay, let's say if I want to declare a int, this A as int, and I want to store 5 into this, then this single quotation was not needed, as you have seen in earlier programs. Okay, but yes, for character type and for string type variables, the assigning has to be done in single quotations only, otherwise it will give an error. इसीलिए कुछ स्टूडेंट्स का जो फर्स्ट सेकंड क्वेश्चन था उसमें कुछ प्रॉब्लम आ रहा था. Moreover, if you declare a variable, okay, let's see about string also first, then I will tell you string. And if I want to store a variable, a word, physics into this, then also it will give an error until or unless you write this physics into single quotations. If you write this physics word into single quotation, then yes, it will. Okay, I think again this. Okay, for strings, it has to be a double quotations, I think. Yes, for strings, it has to be a double quotations. For storing into string, it has to be a double quotations. Right? Okay. So, moreover, suppose if you declare this variable A as char type, but if you want to insert a long word into this, then we will see what will happen. It will again show an error because the variable you have declared as character type and you want to insert a longer word into this variable A. So for that you have to declare that as string and you have to write this physics into double quotation. Then only you can define this, assign this word physics to the variable A. Okay, so with the help of this knowledge, now I think you can easily make this program 1. But in this case, what you have to do is, you have to, in question 1, what you have to do is, you have to declare 3 different variables. What they are asking? They are asking for name, roll number, and course. You have to take name, roll number and course. So for this, what you have to do is you have to write this first, enter your name. You have to see in whatever entered by the user into a variable A, which is of string type, which has to be a string type. Similarly, you have to tell this, enter your roll number. Then you have to see in that data into a variable, let's say B, but it should be of integer type. Similarly
Excuse me,
for course, yes.
श्री सी बाद में ये साइन देखना एक बार.
इसके बाद सर
सिंबल
सी इन के बाद में सर.
सी इन
Okay.
के बाद
Yes,
ग्रेटर
yes,
देन.
yes. That has to be in opposite direction. Sorry. That has to be something like this. So enter your course, and that data should be entered into a variable C, which has to be again into the string type. But now this part of program intends only, you can say this part intends only to store information. ठीक है, अभी मैंने कुछ भी जो इंफॉर्मेशन यूजर ने डाला है वो डिस्प्ले नहीं कराया है. इसके बाद फिर एक साथ कराना है सी आउट योर नेम इज वेरिएबल ए. सिमिलरली सी आउट योर रोल नंबर इज B. Similarly, see out course is C. So this particular program, all the see out statements should be on the end, should be in the end, and this particular 3 lines intends only to display the stored information. Even you can make line comments after this to write these things. Okay. So yes, in all the programs you have to be very systematic. First you have to take all the information from the user, and then you have to display that information as per the requirement of the program. So in this case you are seeing the output should be something like this. Your name is this, your roll number is this, your course name is this. Okay, but first you have to take the input from the user in this manner. Okay. Okay, so थर्ड क्वेश्चन बड़ा इजी था. ए को 70, बी को 20.56, सी को ए करना था और फिर तीनों को प्रिंट करना था. सिमिलरली एबीसी की वैल्यू लेनी थी यूजर से, एंड देन यू हैव टू कंप्यूट दिस एक्सप्रेशन ए बाय बी प्लस बी सी बाय ए. ओके, then you were supposed to display this output as this, like this. The value of A entered was, the value of B entered was, the value of C entered was, and the answer for these values of ABC was this. You have to compute this with the help of arithmetic operators. A by B कर देना, फिर plus B into C by A कर देना, और फिर उसके हिसाब से जो भी वैल्यू आएगा उसको स्टोर रखना है एक पर्टिकुलर फ्लोट टाइप के वेरिएबल में. That you have to see the answer of this expression should be of float type. Okay, otherwise वो wrong answer देगा आपको, because integer divided by integer will not give you integer always, it will give you a decimal value. Okay, फिर उसके बाद आता है आपका, okay, फिफ्थ क्वेश्चन अभी छोड़ देते हैं. इवन नंबर और नंबर वाला, क्योंकि इसमें लॉजिकल ऑपरेटर्स लगेंगे. Sixth, I will discuss this first, but sixth question you can easily see. Write a program to find the square of a number given by the user. Simply take input from the user and store that value into a variable a. Define another variable b, which is equal to b is equal to a cross a. B is equal to a cross a. So you have to display the square of entered number was a, was b. Okay, कर सकते हो सिक्स क्वेश्चन को, तो इजी है.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So okay,
Yes, sir.
I will again discuss these logical operators. Okay, I will again discuss these logical operators with you. See, this logical AND means see, there are three logical operations: AND operation, OR operation, and NOT operation. You must have studied these operators in your 11th or 12th class in electronics, in physics. Okay, so AND operation is generally say that output, or you can say result, is high, or you can say true, only when both the output, both the inputs are high, or you can say true. Okay, so whatever I have written, this result, this true, and this true, actually corresponds to your C++ programming. So in electronics, you say for AND operation, for AND gate, output will be high only when both the inputs are high. If you see the truth table of this AND gate, then it was something like this: input 1, input 2, and output. So if there are two inputs, there will be 4 combinations of these inputs, and the output will be, can you tell me the output?
0 0 0 1.
Very good. So the output for AND gate should be something like this. Now similarly, I am applying a logical operator in my C++ programming, and I am replacing these inputs with conditions. If there is I am representing 0 with false condition, and I am representing this 0 with false condition. This is false, this is true, this is true, this is false, and this is true and true. Again, this will be false, 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 and true. So this truth table reveals that if the final answer will be true only when, the result will be true only when both the inputs, both the expressions, in this case I can say both the expressions are true, only when. Okay, so if I operate AND operator, if I operate AND operator on two statements, if I operate AND operators on two statements, then the answer will be true only and only when both the statements are true only, right? And how I can make these statements? let's see. Let's say I am declaring a variable of bool type. Bool is a variable type who can store only two values, either 0 or 1. Okay, so let's say I want to declare a variable result1. Please mute yourself if you are not talking. So let's say this result1 is equal to 3 equal to 5, right? Can you tell me what does this what does I mean by this equal to sign? Can you tell me what will be the value stored in this result1 variable?
0.
0. Very good. Because you can see, yes, very good. So you can see right hand side will be evaluated first, and this right hand side, this 3 equal to 5 is a false statement, and false means 0. So this 0 value will be stored into this variable result1. So if you take C out of this result1, let's say if you take C out of this result1 variable, then it should show you 0, right? It is showing you 0. That means, yes, this particular result1 is created after this operation, after checking this operation. Similarly, suppose if I want to see 6 equal to 6, if I want to see the content stored into this variable result2, can you tell me what will be the contents in this variable result2?
1.
Very good. 1. Result2. So this will be, for result1 it is 0, and for result2 it is 1. Very good. Now can you tell me what will be the result if I perform AND operation,
Zero.
on both of these? Very good. 0. Result1 and result2. And if I intend to take the C out of this result3 also, sorry, plain result of final result also, then it should show 0. Okay. So to beautify this further, what I can write is, I can give another end line statement. Now you can say both this 0 and 1 is giving me 0, right? Similarly, suppose if I want to check this AND operation and I am writing this as 3 equal to 3, then both the variables result1 and result2 will become true. So what I am doing is I am operating a AND operation on inputs true and true. So the result should show me
1.
1. Very good. Both the inputs will be 1, and as well as output will also become 1, as you can see from this. Now this result1 and result2, both the operations of AND operator are 1. That's why the final answer of this AND operation is coming to be 1, right? Very good. So in a similar way, I can explain this OR operation also. I can explain this OR operation. OR operation says that output, or you can say result, is high or true only when, okay, result is true when either of the input, or you can say expression, is true. either of का क्या मीनिंग है कि या तो एक ट्रू हो
एक
या दूसरा ट्रू हो या दोनों ट्रू हो. तो उस केस में you can see your truth table changes for OR gate like this. Your truth table for OR gate changes something like this. I am writing input 1, input 2 and output. So it will be 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. So output will be 0 1 1 1. Okay, so in this manner you can see the OR output, OR operation. And the symbol for OR operation is this, two vertical lines. So I can just, what I can do is I can just replace this AND operation with two vertical lines to make it a OR operation, and then I can see. This will be the case when both the inputs are 1 and 1. So output is coming to be 1. But if I make this as 5, then also what should it show?
1.
0 1 1.
1.
Now one of the expression is false but other is true, so it will show you output final answer should be like 1, right? Okay, last this operation is called logical NOT. For logical NOT, it is very quite simple. If you have variable a, suppose, and for NOT operation, or you can say for NOT gate, output is the invert of this input. Whatever the input is, it will invert, it will be the opposite of this output. So you can say if you operate logical NOT on a statement, on a true statement, then it will give you a false value. Similarly, if you operate logical NOT operation on a false statement, then the result should be true, right? So suppose, and the format for this logical NOT is exclamatory mark. Okay. So suppose I am writing this result 1, result 1 is equal to 3 equal to 5, and I am writing result 2 is equal to this exclamatory mark of result 1. That is, in line 10th, what I am doing is I am operating a NOT operation on variable result 1, and whatever the result is of this operation, I am storing that result into a variable result 2, right? So can you tell me what will be the value of result 1 first? The value of result 1 will be 0.
0.
And if I operate, or you can say false, if I operate not operator on this result 1 variable, then it will give me true value.
1.
That means 1. So result 2 will store now 1. So if I run this program, it should be equal to 0 and 1. So whatever be the value of result 1 variable, the reciprocal, the opposite value of this will be stored into the result 2 variable. Right? So in this manner, you can utilize, you can use, you can take advantage of these logical operators in your program. You will see in future programs, you will be using, this will be very helpful for you. Okay. So in assignment, the question was use logical and or not operator in any program. Okay, so you have to make a program as per your wish. You have to use this and or not operator in this program. Okay, again in question 9, you have to take 4 variable as integer type ABCD, and you have to give the value 2, 3, 4, 5 to these variables, and you have to check the following conditions, whether they are true or whether they are false. So how you can do this is, suppose A is less than D and A is greater than B, right? Okay, let's do this with only, okay, so for before this I have to declare A, B, C, D, right? I have to initialize these variables, A by 2, B by 3, C by 4 and D by 5, right? And then you have to declare some variables of bool type. That's okay. I'm writing now result 1 is equal to, first part of this program is, this is A is less than D. This whole thing which I have highlighted is a single condition. A is less than D. I am considering this as a single condition. So I can write in my program result 1 is the output of this condition A is less than, क्या था? A is less than D. A is less than D, right? So this is my first condition. I can directly apply this AND operation on the conditions. I do not have to at all the time, I do not have to store these condition outputs, condition results into a variable and then I have to compare these results. Okay, but I can also directly compare, directly operate and operators on these conditions. So first condition is A less than D. Second condition is A greater than B. Second condition is A greater than B. And I want to operate AND operator. You can see from this, between these two conditions AND was written. So I have to operate this AND operation on these two conditions, on these two different conditions. So I can see, I can directly write AND. So basically this result 1 is equal to A less than D and A greater than B will give me the result of this question A. Okay, so let's see if I operate and if I take the output as Cout. If I take the output of variable result 1, then tell me first what should it give? The first expression A less than D is true.
0, sir.
Right.
0.
Second expression is A greater than B, which is false. So I am operating AND operation on a true and false statement. So the answer should be false. So result 1 should carry only 0 value. So if I can say Yes, result 1 is carrying 0. Similarly, for second part of this question, you can make result 2 equal to first condition B less than C and C, second condition C less than D, and you can take output of this variable result 2. So you, for each of these conditions, for each of these four conditions, you have to make a expression. You have to store the output, store the result of these conditions, result of these operators into different variables, and then you have to display that content of that variables. Right? You can easily do this. Next question, 10th question is again from the arithmetic operators. You have to take a value of temperature from the user in centigrades, temperature in centigrades, like 37 degrees Celsius, 40 degrees Celsius, and you have to convert the temperature into Fahrenheit. Okay, you can see the conversion of the centigrade to Fahrenheit is something like this: temperature in Celsius into 9/5 plus 32. Right? So this 0 degree Celsius would be a variable, and this again you have to store into a variable. Okay, let's see. I can say temperature in Fahrenheit will be equal to temperature in Celsius into 9/5 plus 32. As simple as that. Right? Take this as a variable A and define this variable as B. So take value of A from the user, find out value of B by using arithmetic operators. Display the value of B. That's all. Right? So in any expression, you can take a variable, but that variable you have to define before this expression. You have to define that variable A before this expression. Something has to be stored into variable A when you write this code into your program. So before this line, you have to take C into A. कुछ स्टूडेंट्स गलती क्या करते हैं, इस एक्सप्रेशन को पहले लिख देते हैं और फिर ए का वैल्यू बाद में डिफाइन करते हैं. उससे क्या होता है, ए का वैल्यू तो जब आया वेरिएबल में वो बाद में आया, उससे पहले ही उसने बी का वैल्यू डिफाइन करने की कोशिश की, जिसकी वजह से अभी ए के पास कोई वैल्यू नहीं है तो वो रैंडम वैल्यू ले लेगा, वो गलत हो जाता है. तो इफ यू आर यूजिंग एनी अरिथमेटिक ऑपरेटर, then whichever variables you are using in that arithmetic operation, you have to declare them first. You have to assign some values to them first. Right? हो जाएगा ये क्वेश्चन, 10th क्वेश्चन इजी है.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Similarly, 11th question is you have to write a program to convert angle from degrees to radians. Again, you have to write some mathematical expression for this conversion, and you have to take input of an angle from the user in degrees, and then you have to display the corresponding angle in radians will be equal to this much. एक वेरिएबल a ले लीजिए. You have to store the value entered by user into this variable a. You have to calculate the b value, and then you have to display this value b. Similarly, in question 12, light passes from an air into an unknown medium at an angle of incidence 43 degree, at an angle of refraction 28 degree. You have to write a program to calculate the refractive index of this unknown material. Can you tell me, if you know the angle of incidence and if you know the angle of refraction, then what will be the refractive index? If you know I
90 minus.
90 minus, I am asking about, and you know the angle of refraction. So
Sir,
can you tell
90
me the refractive index?
Sin I by sin R.
Very good.
Sin I beta sin.
Sin I by sin R. Now, the real question is, can we calculate these values of sin? Can we calculate this value of sin into this C++ program? So suppose I want to calculate I want to say A is equal to sin 30. Want to say A is equal to sin 30. So can you tell me whether it will it work? Will it evaluate
No.
sin 30 and will it store into the variable A? Yes, it can do, but see, let's see first. In this particular,
So C out.
no, C out is different thing. It will not give you C out also.
So we can use C math. Sir.
Yes, very good. किसने बताया?
Aman
Sir,
sir.
Yes.
C out के बाद greater than or sir.
Yes. See, for these type of things, for using these type of mathematical operators, you have to use a library of C++ which defines these types of mathematical functions. And that particular library is called CMath. So if you include this library into your processor mind, then yes, your processor can find the values of these trigonometric functions and you can assign these values to any variable. So this library I am saying, there are various libraries in C++ which you can include in your program, and after that you can use some operations to simplify your program. For example, this A is equal to sin 30 was not declared in this particular program because I had not include that particular library in which this sin function was defined. So I have to write hash include CMath library. Just like मैंने पहले लिखा था IO stream hash include input output stream. This IO stream is actually a header file. You can also say this library as header file. This IO stream was a header file which enables us to perform these commands C out and C in. Taking input and output in a program requires this particular header file IO stream, which is input output stream. Similarly, to define these trigonometric functions and many more mathematical functions, I have to include this library CMath. These libraries you have to remember by name. If for using some particular functions which library you have to use. So for this sine, cos, tan, exponential, for all these functions you have to include this CMath library. So now if I run this program,
Sir,
it should show me some values, but that value, okay, let's see.
इंटीजर कर रखा है सर,
क्या कर रखा है?
इंटीजर में वैल्यू देगा ये तो.
हाँ, इसको फ्लोट कर लेना चाहिए, इसीलिए वो इंटीजर में दे रहा. ओके, now it is showing 0.841471, but one thing you have to remember, for these defined functions of C++, this value is taking in radians. The compiler is taking this in radians. Okay, so if I want to compute sine 90 is actually what? Pi by 4.
Pi by 2.
Okay, sorry, pi by 2. So value of pi by 2 is 1.57 something. So if I want to evaluate sine 90, then I have to write sine 1.57. So value of sine 1.57 should be equal to 1. So let's see. Yes, it is coming to be 1. Right. So if I want to another simple value of sine 30, I think sine 30 na? Sine 30 is 1 by 2. That is half. Okay, sine 30 is pi by 6. So pi by 6 will be 3.14 divided by 6 will be 0.52 something. So if I want to operate sine on 0.52 something, then it should return me 0.5. Yes, 0.49688. Right. So you have to keep in mind that whatever be the value you are inputting, that value has to be input in radians. And how you can convert a degree into a variable into a radian? You can see. Yes, you can see, to convert a value of degree into radians, I think what you can do is, let's say x is angle in degrees. If you divide that x by 180 and multiply it by 3.14, then this expression will convert a value of angle in degree to a value of angle in radians. Right. So this I and R will be entered by the user. This I and R will be entered by the user in degrees, and then first of all you have to convert these into radians, and then you have to find out the value of sine I and sine R, and then you have to define this variable refractive index. So okay, so in question it was given 43 and 28. Okay, 43 and 28. So let's say I want to calculate the value of sine 43. So what I can do is, I can write 43 multiply by 3.14 divide by 180. These things you have to, these brackets you have to choose very carefully. Right. These brackets you have to choose very carefully, otherwise it will show some error. Like in this case, I can see this is the value of 43 degree in radians, 43 into 3.14 divided by 180, and the whole bracket is of the argument of the sine function. So yes, this A is now equivalent to sine 43 degree. Right. If I run this, I can see, okay, Okay, it will not take something like this, so I have to declare first b is equal to 43 into 3.14 divide by 180, and then I have to insert this value, this variable b, into sine, right? Yes, now it is giving me 0.68. Now you can see this 0.68 is actually the sine of 43 degree, which I have converted first to radians and then I have inserted into the sine function. Okay, similarly you can convert that 58, I can declare this as C and I can declare this as D, and the angle was, and the incident angle was 28. In this case C is 28 and D will be equal to sine of C, and I can print this value of, okay, I will not print the value of this A and D. I will directly print the value of A divided by D. Okay, I don't know whether it will show. Yes, now it is giving 1.45278. So this is basically the refractive index of that particular material. So what I have done in line 8th and line 11th, you can see I have converted that angle into radians first. In line 9 and line 12, I have find out the sine series of that particular angle B and C respectively. Then I have calculated the value by sine I by sine R. Right? So you can do these type of questions like this. So you must be now aware of this libraries CMath. Similarly, a last question you can also do with the help of this by using this library CMath. You can calculate this sine 35, sine 67. You can also find the value of exponential a square, okay, where a is given by 4.56. For exponential, this CMath actually recognize this function and you can directly write this function. Let's say b is equal to exponential of 2. Okay, so it will be e raised to the power 2. See out b. So if I run this, it will be 7.38. So this is correct, as the value of exponent is 2.3 something. Yes, 2.71. So the square of this is e raised to the power 1 is 2.71, and you can see something like this. E square will be this. Also, you can define variable. Let's say you have to find the cube of a number 3. Okay, and if you declare this as, it will give you 27. Okay, so another function of this CMath, you can include a function which is called power, POW, and the format of this is you can write POW and जिसका power करना है और जितना करना है. Let's say 3 raised to the power 4. This POW 3, 4 is actually 3 raised to the power 4, and it should give me 81, right? It is giving me 81. Or you can say, I can also write something like this: a is equal to 5, and then I can use this power function with like this, with a raised to the power 3. So this in line 9, you can see b is equal to POW bracket a comma 3 means a cube. B is equal to a cube. So you can also use this power function for your arithmetic, for solving your arithmetic operators, right? Like this. In this case, what you can do is you can assign a variable, another variable, let's say b, which is equal to POW bracket a comma 2, and then you can find the value of this exponential b into this, right? But unluckily, in this question b, you can see this CMath library includes sine function, cos function, tangent function, but this does not include the inverse functions. Okay, so cotangent, it will not be defined. For that, you have to use this as cos 30 divided by tan 70, like, right? So this cot function you have to manually change into a tangent function by reciprocating it, and then you can use the CMath library. Okay, so I think all the, okay, these pre increment and post increment भी रह गए, इनको भी कर लेते हैं. Yes, what do we mean by a pre increment and post increment? Actually, this is very important point, and you will be utilizing this technique a lot in your next programs. So this pre increment and post increment, actually this is something, if you write plus plus a and post increment is a plus plus, suppose you are writing these two different expression into your program, then what does they actually represent? They represent that pre increment in case of plus plus a, whatever we are doing to the variable a, it will be done only after incrementing the variable value by 1. What I mean to say is, suppose the value of a stands at 5 before this expression, before this line, the value of a was 5, right? Now I write this statement plus plus a, then this means that, and this thing I have written inside a command. Inside a command, I have written this thing plus plus a. Okay, let's say I have written this in cout plus plus a. Then can you tell me what will be the output of this plus plus a cout? The output of this will be, first it will increase the value of a by 1, and then it will print the value of a. Okay, plus plus a means it will pre-increment the value before the operation. It will increment the value before the operation of cout. This plus plus a means this. Similarly, if I write cout is equal to a plus plus, then that means it will perform the operation first. It will perform the operation first, and then it will increase the value of a by 1. Okay, so this pre-increment and post-increment are actually will be useful in your for loop and all other things. But yes, pre-increment means first it will change the value of a, then it will operate the operation. whether it is cout or whether it is assigning or whether it is checking, whatever you are doing, it will first increment the value of a, then it will perform that particular operation. Similarly, in post on the other hand, in this post increment, first it will operate the operation, first it will perform the operation, and then it will increase the value of a. Okay, let's see in this program. Let's say I have defined a as 5. Okay, and I want to take output of variable a plus plus. Can you tell me what will be the output of this line 9? What should be the output
5
of
plus.
a plus plus? 5?
5.
Yes, it should be 5, right? But on the other hand, if I write this as plus plus a, then what should be the
6.
output?
6.
6. Very good. Now it is 6, you can see. Okay, so even in case of post increment, you can verify that after this operation, the value of a is changed. Not before the operation, but yes, after the operation, the value of a is changed. So the line 9 should create an output of 6, and then line 11 will again create a output of 6. You can see now after completion of 9, this line 9 is creating an output of 5 because I was using post increment. So first it has printed the value of a, then it has increased the value a later after the completion of line 9. But yes, in next line I have now printed the value of current value of a variable, which is 6, right? So if similar type of thing I want to see in pre-increment, then can you tell me the outputs of line 9 and line 11 respectively?
6 and 5.
6.
6 and 6. Okay, yes, it should be 6 and 6. Very good. So similar question was given in your assignment. You have to declare a variable a as float type. You have to give the first value, the initial value of this variable a as 4.8. You have to write a C++ code to calculate the values of the following: a plus 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 a, right? B is equal to a plus plus, C is equal to plus plus a. Now can you tell me the difference of this a, C and B, D part? If you want to print the value of a plus plus, or in second case you want to first assign the value of a plus plus to a variable b and then you are printing the variable b value, then does it make any difference in part A and C?
Yes, sir.
What difference it will make?
A and B are two different values.
Yes, but output, from the point of view of output, whether they will create different outputs, A and C part.
Yes, sir.
Why they will create different outputs? In first case A, I am taking the output directly of A plus
4.8.
it should be 4.8, right? In second case, I am assigning this operator a plus plus operator, the value of this a plus plus operator, to a variable b. Okay, let's do this first, we will see. So I am considering this as float as, and I am writing this as a 4.8. okay, right, 4.8. So in first case I am just printing the content of this operation a plus plus, right? A plus plus. So it should be 4.8, I think. Yes, 4.8, because this is post increment. The increment takes place after the completion of command. A++ means the increment will take place only after the execution of the command of cout. So at line 9, the value of A stands at 4.8, but after the completion of line 9, that is at line 10, 11, 12 line, the value of A will be 5.8. That's not a problem. But if suppose if first I assign this B is equal to A++, and then I want to take the output of this variable B, then can you tell me what will be the output now?
5.8.
Why 5.8?
4.8.
It will again be 4.8 na. Whatever be the value of this A++, see, whatever be the value of this A++, it will be assigned to variable B. So this is post increment. So before incrementing the value of A, the current value of A will be assigned to B. So in line 9, actually you are storing 4.8 into the variable B. Okay. And after the completion of line 9, after the compilation of line 9, the value of A is changing. But now we are not taking the output of variable A. Now we are taking the output of variable B. So yes, after line 9, the value of A is changed, but the old value of A is stored into the variable B, and the value of B we are taking out. Right? So if I take, let's say, if I take C is equal to A, and I also take output of this variable C out C. Right? So can you tell me the output of line 13 and 16?
4.8 and 5.8.
Very good. So you can see this, after this ninth line, the value of A will stand at 5.8, and now this value 5.8 I am assigning to a variable C, and later on I am calling this variable C. So that's why it is showing 5.8, 4.8 and 5.8. So these type of things have been asked in this particular question. Yes, from where we have started, is part A and part C equal? Yes, the output of part A and part C should be equal, should be same. Similarly for B and D, the output will be same. Similarly for E and G, the output will be same. And similarly for F and H, the output will be same. You have to display the value of all the parts from A to H. Okay. So I think now we have completed all the questions in this assignment. Even question 8, you can see it is very good question, and it will clear all your doubts for this post increment operator and pre increment operator. Can you do this question 8 using post increment operator? Display numbers starting from 1 to 5, and using pre increment operator, display numbers starting from 1 to 5. Can you do this question? Without any for loop, without any if loop, can you do this? See, in question 8, what you have to do is you have to create a numbers 1 to 5 using post increment operator. So what I can do is I have to display 1 to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 using post increment. So what I can do is I can initialize a variable A with 1. I can write B is equal to A++. I can write Cout of A first. Then I can write Cout. Okay, I have to do it by post increment. Okay, so I can, okay, I will remove this. I can Cout B. I can again write B is equal to A plus plus. I can again take Cout B. I can again write B is equal to A plus plus. I can again write Cout less than B. Right? In this manner, you can say I have initialized this A by 1. For this particular line, it will create a output 1. And later on, it will increase the value of A to 2. Now, in this line, the present value of A is 2, which will be assigned to variable B. And after the completion of this task, the value of A will increase by 1. So after the completion of this task, the value of A will become 3. But at this Cout, it will show you 2. Similarly, it will show you 3. Similarly, it will show you 4 and 5. Right? So what I am saying is, if I declare this A as 1, right, and if I write B is equal to A plus plus, and if I write Cout B, and if I write this command multiple times, then after each command, it will increase after each command, it will increase the value of A and it will store this in value of B. Okay. Are you getting this point?
Yes, sir.
So if I run this program, it should show something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have not used end line, that's why it is coming back to back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? In this program, you can see I have not changed the value of A. I have just defined the value of A once, and then later on, with the help of post increment, I am directly creating the different values of A and I am storing them in variable B. Right? So similar thing, if I have to do with pre-increment, then can you tell me what difference I have to make in my program? In first iteration, okay, in first part, you can see I have to make a slight variation in this program to create first value of A. Can you tell me what will be the output in this case, in this particular case? It will start from
6 tak.
Yes, it will start from
1.
Will it start from 1?
No, sir.
The
2.
first,
2.
it will start from
2,
2
sir.
and it will print up to 6. Okay, so in this case, what I can do is I can initialize my variable A with 0.
0.
Then it will again show the same thing: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? If I initialize my variable A variable with 1, then it will show from 2 to 6. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this you have to understand actually for pre-increment and post-increment. For which particular conditions you have to use pre-increment and for which particular conditions you have to use post-increments. Right? So now I think you all should be very comfortable in this assignment. You can do all these questions, all these 15 questions. You can take screenshots of these questions as well as outputs, and you have to make a PDF of this and you have to upload, right?